To just take a moment, we just had a wonderful break. I want you all to close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and an audible sigh out, that great big Sometimes one breath is what it takes to bring us back into that present moment where we're able to say, I am here. What a beautiful place to be. Unhappily married with children. Can you hear the music? You know, love and marriage. It wasn't like that. It certainly wasn't like that. See, unhappily married with children sounds backwards, right? That was my reality. And I don't say it for shock value. I say it because for years I believed that serving, cookies, anybody, was the same as living. And I was wrong. And I got really good at looking okay. We were talking about feelings earlier. Right? How you feeling? Okay. For the guys, is a feeling, isn't it? Right? That grunt. And behind closed doors, I was honestly disappearing. So for the next few minutes, I simply invite you to walk with me. And while you walk beside me, I hope you'll notice where your own story begins to whisper back. So there's a beautiful handout that my lovely assistant handed out to you. And on the back of it are some heart-stop questions. These are the moments when what I say may whisper to you. Her name was Emily Joy. If you had known her, you would understand why. Oh, she loved life. She laughed easily, and she had a way of making people smile. One beautiful sunny August afternoon, a speedboat crashed into the sea-doo that my daughter was on with her brother. Emily died. My son survived. And for years, months, days, years, I had this thought that would come into my mind often. If only it had been my husband who had died instead. Oh, what kind of a person thinks that? What kind of a mother? Grieving one. We blame ourselves so much for the thoughts that we think. And your heart remembers who you were before life convinced you to forget. Right? There's this knowing in the heart, and the heart loves you unconditionally, always. And yet we're our own worst enemy, right? So I believed that I had to earn things in my life, not just a paycheck. I gotta earn the hours to make the check, but I thought that I needed to earn love, earn forgiveness, and earn healing, and I was wrong. Because I was born perfect. And then I forgot. Somebody told me that, I was fat and I was ugly and no one would ever put up with my shit. Well, no one would ever put up with that kind of shit. And then I found my forever friend. I fell in love and life changed and it altered and the beautiful things continued to happen in my life. And yet there was something that was always missing. Always, right? Got married, Mexico. Beautiful. Everything was perfect. I had my friends, I had my family. Everything was perfect. I'd written my memoir before. Everything was great, and then there was something that was missing. I tried to perform for everybody. The performer. They always show up. Hi, I'm Nance. Thank you for tuning in to Recover Your Joy on YouTube. And I love podcasting. But I got really sick and tired of having to prostitute my memoir. Audrey's bookstore. Audrey's bookstore said no. Ascendant Books said no. Indigo said no because I wasn't in their catalog and I was just too tired to keep on trying again and again. So I just stayed in bed when I got home. I stayed in bed until I finally admitted to my coach, and he was the kick-ass accountability coach, right? I can't go to bed. How can I support you? So my accountability partner called me every morning. Thank God she was in New York, so I didn't feel too guilty. But she was texting and calling me to make sure that I got out of bed. And then I had to do the dreaded. I had to go back to a job. Bookkeeping. Right? Awful. Debits and credits and check marks on bank statements. And for a guy who appreciated me when we first started working together, it was like the first date. Oh, he was so nice. He was just lovely, lovely. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, you know you're making mistakes. How long is this going to continue? And the only thing I could think in my head was not too much longer, buddy. But I needed to pay my bills. And I didn't have a client list. And I didn't have things that I was loving to do. So I started making some decisions. I started trying things that were hard, like not super hard, but terrifying. Has anybody out here made soap before? Yeah. Right? You're pouring lye into water. It's the same lye that you can sprinkle on that dead body. And, you know, my probation officer, Jesus, told me not to do that, so I don't. I now make soap. And I've got a reason to carry lye in the back seat, right? It was so terrifying though, like literally. So you've got these goggles on, and there's a few people here who've taken my soap classes. Like I do, I wear the goggles and I wear the gloves. But then sometimes I'm like freebasing. I don't need those gloves. We're like, I got this until I get like some chemical burns. I'm like, oops, right? And then I'm wearing long sleeves because I don't want my guy. He's Italian, right? And he's like Joey from Friends. He's so cute. He's like, so, what happened to your arm? Oh, you weren't wearing the gloves, eh? Again, that sound they make, it's like, okay, but not okay. So I started being a little bit more responsible, and I wore my gloves and my glasses. And then I got really brave, and I offered a class, a workshop. And people came. Like they showed up, right? And we made soap, and we laughed, and we had fun. See, my heart had never asked me to earn any of it. And I don't choose joy every day because it's easy. It is so not easy choosing joy every day. Because I'm still finishing my contract with that guy. I choose joy anyways. I choose joy in the very difficult moments. So I went back to Mexico this year. Went for my anniversary, right? 1 year with the Italian. It was so much fun, right? Chigon for my one Spanish friend over there who knows what that means, right? It's just like the best time ever. And then my son called me because his dad was in the hospital and he wasn't feeling so good. I'm like, my vacation, right? Of course. He said, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's oh God. He was like the Energizer bunny on crack. He survived everything, right? Like this guy really did. Like 12 lives 10 times over. And I had compassion, so I ensured that all my boys were at their dad's bedside. And then Ralph and I walked down to La Caleta. It's this beautiful, beautiful pub down in Old Vallarta, like the romantics and where the more flamboyant folks are. And then my phone rang, and it was my son Jarrett, the one who was on the CD with Emily. I said, but he only got 5%. That's okay, I'll call you back. I'm like, no. What's going on? Dad died. Oh. And everything inside of me began to crumble, and I cried. Right? And I was so angry, I was crying. This is the guy that really caused me a lot of trauma in my life. And then I realized he died on my granddaughter's birthday. There's my sweet little Lennon, she's 4, right? She's so cute. And guess what? It's my birthday and Grandpa's dead. Yeah, I know, sweetheart. So that one thing that I was too ashamed to talk about became my reality. And then an incredible piece. I've got 15 seconds. First time I go for a healing experience after he passes, guess who shows up? And he's all sunshine and roses and kindness and love. I choose joy because my heart remembered the way home. Thank you.